Throughout history, humanity has gazed into the heavens, searching for patterns, omens, and warnings. In ancient times, when fiery comets carved their paths across the dark sky, they were not viewed as harmless streaks of ice and dust, but as harbingers of catastrophe, war, famine, collapse. Priests read them as signs. Kings trembled under their glow. Entire cities braced for disaster when those burning messengers appeared overhead. Even now, when science tells us the universe is nothing more than physics and probabilities, something primal stirs within us when we see a strange light in the sky. And as you read this, one such light is here. A crimson visitor from beyond the stars, a presence so uncanny that scientists whisper about it behind closed doors. We invite you to stay with us, to subscribe and follow this unfolding mystery, because what you're about to learn may be more than a story. It may be a warning. For centuries, scientists have worked to strip away superstition, telling us that comets are merely frozen relics of cosmic history, silent travelers without meaning or intent. But what happens when the heavens themselves begin to contradict that comforting narrative? What happens when Earth shudders in synchrony with a celestial visitor, as though the planet itself is responding to an unseen force? That is exactly what has been happening as the interstellar object 3.I Atlas approaches the inner solar system. It arrived quietly, a faint dot moving through the void, but now its presence has become impossible to ignore. Within hours of one another, two powerful earthquakes tore through Venezuela, rattling infrastructure, shaking entire cities, and sending waves of panic across the population. These weren't just minor tremors, they were extraordinary events for that region, registering above magnitude 6 and followed by an aftershock of 5.8. At the same time, astronomers were observing unusual activity in the heavens, novas detonating in distant constellations, the sun firing off massive coronal ejections, and 3I Atlas behaving in ways no comet should. Coincidence? Or a chain reaction written into the very fabric of reality? The deeper you look, the harder it becomes to dismiss the timing as chance. Something is resonating between the heavens and the Earth, and as this interstellar visitor draws nearer, the resonance grows stronger. On September 24th at 22:21 UTC, the ground beneath Venezuela convulsed violently. A magnitude 6.2 earthquake ripped through the crust, the strongest in decades. Residents barely had time to recover before another struck hours later, this one a 6.3, almost identical in strength but deeper, as though the Earth had adjusted itself in two distinct waves. Then came the aftershock, a 5.8, smaller but still strong enough to weaken structures and nerves alike. In any other year, scientists might have called this a localized anomaly. But the context now was different. At the same time, Earth was under the influence of unstable space weather. The solar wind, normally steady and predictable, dropped to anomalously low densities, creating an electromagnetic vacuum around the planet. Imagine our magnetic field as a great invisible shield, constantly pressed upon by the sun's stream of charged particles. When that pressure weakens, the shield relaxes, altering the stresses locked into Earth's crust. For years, geophysicists have debated whether space weather can influence seismic activity. But here was an alignment too precise to ignore. Solar fluctuations, electromagnetic shifts, and tectonic release, all happening within the same hours. And looming in the background, like a conductor leading an unseen orchestra, was 3I Atlas, catalogued as only the third confirmed interstellar object after Oumuamua and Borisov. 3I Atlas was at first expected to be just another faint traveler, a chance to sample alien chemistry. But as weeks passed, it began to reveal a different face. Observers noted a tail that didn't behave like any other. Instead of streaming neatly away from the sun, one portion of the coma appeared to point back toward the star, as though pulled by some unknown mechanism. Other instruments recorded the opposite, a tail extending away as expected, but woven with strange plasma structures. Then the coma itself began to swell, expanding to nearly 100,000 kilometers. Not a faint mist, but a charged plasma cloud reacting violently to the solar wind. When a coronal mass ejection slammed into the object in July, it flared with sudden brightness, nearly 20 times more luminous than before, as though it had awakened. And now another CME has struck even harder, injecting fresh energy as it approaches Mars. This isn't just a piece of frozen debris melting in sunlight. This is something interacting, responding, and changing in ways that make scientists question whether it is a natural body at all. For ordinary comets, the Sun is the sculptor. For 3I Atlas, the Sun seems to be a trigger, flipping a switch we didn't know existed, and just as Earth shook and the Sun roared, the stars themselves erupted. In the southern skies, two novas detonated almost simultaneously, V1935 Centauri and V794. Sagittari, hurling gamma rays and visible light across the cosmos in perfect synchrony with the seismic events below. A nova is not a casual flicker. It is a violent outburst in which one star steals matter from its companion until it explodes in sudden fury. That two of them should flare at once is already extraordinary. That it happened while Earth trembled and a strange interstellar object was struck by solar fire chilled even the most skeptical astronomers. Are these events truly connected? Skeptics argue no, insisting that novas are distant, unrelated phenomena. Yet cultures across history recorded comets, stars, and natural disasters in the same breath. Not as superstition, but as lived experience. The Mayans, the Chinese, the Babylonians all believed comets heralded upheaval because they saw the sky and the earth moving in synchrony. Perhaps they understood something we have forgotten, that the universe is not separate compartments of stars, planets, and comets, but a single system resonating like the strings of one great instrument. And now, as 3I Atlas hums through our system, the resonance grows louder. The Sun has entered one of its most turbulent cycles in decades. With more than 160 sunspots currently active, each one larger than Earth itself, its surface is a battlefield of magnetic energy. Into this environment comes 3I Atlas, wrapped in plasma and caught in the solar storm. When the latest CME struck, its coma compressed, flared, and twisted unnaturally, like a banner whipped by invisible hands. At the same time, Earth's own systems responded. Auroras lit skies further south than expected. Geomagnetic storms rippled through power grids. Seismic waves rolled through Venezuela. The pattern was unmistakable. Solar chaos above, tectonic chaos below, and an interstellar intruder at the center. What makes this worse is what lies ahead. 3I Atlas is closing in on a critical alignment, a near pass of Mars, followed by a superior conjunction with Earth, meaning it will line up directly with our planet and the Sun. Historically, conjunctions amplify space weather effects, straining our magnetic field, disrupting satellites, and triggering global phenomena. Adding an interstellar object, one actively interacting with solar energy, into that alignment is to roll cosmic dice with stakes we can't yet measure. Something is building, and the earthquakes in Venezuela may only be the beginning. Seismographs worldwide have begun to pick up an unusual rhythm. Small tremors echo in regions not normally active, subtle